I think I'm a special one.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, we're back. This is 33rd episode 33 on the Halftime Podcast. What's up, Chad?
What's going on?
Not the best mood for a podcast, I would say, after yesterday's result.
Yeah, but we don't need to be so upset to the point where it's like, changes need to happen.
Yeah.
Fire Berhalter. Like, let's relax a little bit.
That was Twitter yesterday, which it almost makes it kind of fun when the US lose, because then you get reactions and like think pieces, and like it makes it fun for like a soccer thinker, but not fun for like the US men's national team fan.
It's crazy because this isn't like any other sport. I feel like people just you won't meet one person with the same exact opinion as you.
I honestly think I'm biased. I think we know the game pretty well. And there's people you go to trust when you talk about soccer. There's so many people that I think have, especially soccer people that have played the game at different levels, that see the game differently, that just have completely different, you have some people that love Berhalter, some people that hate this player, love this player. They think Jose Mourinho is a god. They hate Jose Mourinho. They just different philosophies and stuff. You know what I mean? They think Canada's masterclass because they sat behind the ball. Some people hate it. Some people. So it's fun to see everybody's opinion. And then people in soccer, they say things so definite, as if their opinion's the one that's right. Then you're like, does this guy actually know what he's talking about? Most of the time they don't.
Because it's American soccer fans and they think, oh, I know soccer. And these other American fans don't know soccer.
Well, English people think like that. There's plenty of England national team fans or Premier League fans that are like, oh no, that player stinks. And they don't know what they're talking about either, just because they're English or whatever, Yeah. But maybe they think we're those guys. Well, we are. I think we have some of the best takes out there.
Yeah, us or FC Wonder Kid, definitely.
He's gonna go bald. He doesn't give any takes at all. He just commentates. He's like, yeah. All right. But really quick, we'll hop into the episode. What are you wearing?
2014 World Cup jersey.
Yeah, it's the away kit.
This is Dempsey scored the goal in the first minute against Ghana.
Yeah, right? It's fresh. They call
this exact one.
Didn't they call it the Where's Waldo kit because of the colors?
No, the Where's Waldo kit was the white and red one with stripes.
Oh yeah, true. That's a fresh kit.
Yep.
Yeah.
What you got?
No player on the back, right?
Nah.
That kid just kind of screams Kyle Beckerman, to be honest.
Or Jermaine Jones.
Yeah. Jermaine Jones scored in the white kit. I'm wearing 2010 South Africa World Cup jersey. Josie Altidore, 17 Josie Altidore. I've said it on this podcast before. He's my favorite player. Him being kind of a dominant up and coming force as I was getting into soccer, pushed me to get into the game.
There it is, everyone. To Josie Altidore mentioned.
One of many.
3 minutes into the podcast.
Can I tell a quick story about this jersey? Yeah. Really quick. We have a couple minutes. So I didn't know much about soccer at the time, and I knew Josie Altidore would be on the World Cup roster. So I was in 8th grade before the World Cup roster came out. In March, they had a friendly against the Netherlands, and Josie Altidore wore 14. And in my head, I was like, why aren't they coming out with these World Cup jerseys? Little did I know they only announced the roster and the squad numbers a month before the World Cup or whatever. So he wore 14 in the friendly. So I went online, and when they dropped the jersey, I customized it and put 14 Altidore on the back. And then they came out with the numbers, and it said he was going to be 17. I was like, oh man, it would have been a cool jersey to have now. But I called whatever it was, soccer.com or World Soccer Shop, and they're like, yeah, you're right. He did change numbers, so we'll take it back. So somewhere in the back of a World Soccer Shop warehouse, it's just a 14 Altidore jersey.
The dude making that jersey was probably like, why is this dude ordering number 14 Altidore?
His name must be Altidore as well. He was 14 in youth national teams and stuff. But
gotcha.
That's what I think is cool, man. Every soccer jersey we have, I feel has some kind of a story. I could look at this jersey and tell you everything I was feeling about soccer, all of my opinions.
Wow, that's deep.
It is deep. That's what soccer is, man. It's more than just transactional. Oh, I like this player. I like this jersey. It's that. Why do you think we come on here and talk about jerseys we're wearing, or we hang up different scarves and posters and cereal boxes,
Yeah, not just because they look cool, but
they do look cool. So what are we talking about today?
US's 2-0 loss to Canada.
Did you say Dos a 0 in French?
I was thinking like Dos a 0 when they scored the second goal.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to say it.
You couldn't say it in French. Like, I know they speak English as well, but
Twat is 0.
Twat is 0.
I don't know.
That's what we should name the podcast episode. Yeah, man. Like 1-0 most of the game, ended up 2-0. We were not happy with the performance against El Salvador, but we were like, okay, there's some positives. Got the win, going up to Canada. I don't know. You want to talk about like the starting 11 first? I mean, my prediction was that Pulisic would come off the bench to manage his minutes. He looked a little tired. I said Paul Areola would start, but he subbed in. But in the token, Paul Areola, Greg Berhalter guy would start. Ended up being Zardes as the 9. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to start there, or do you want to start from the back?
Start from the back, yeah.
So Matt Turner starts. He's
Yeah.
probably going to start next game as well.
Yeah, no
probably.
surprise there. It was him or Sean Johnson.
Dest, Chris Richards, and Miles Robinson at center back because Zimmerman pulled his. Was he the one that pulled his hamstring?
Yeah, they said it was a light hamstring like tweak. He should be good for Wednesday's game against Honduras, but
Anthony Robinson, and then MMA in the middle, McKennie, Musa, and Adams.
Mhm.
And then Pulisic, Zardes, and Aronson.
Yeah.
It's the front 3.
So my first thoughts seeing the lineup were pretty much just Aronson's going to press well. You're gonna have to get Pulisic like on the ball. Like Zardes and Aronson like know the system, like that, they're going to be like sound defensively and press. Obviously, I wasn't happy to not see Zimmerman in there, but I was kind of happy to see Miles Robinson. My ideal center back pairing right now would be Miles Robinson and Walker Zimmerman.
Yeah,
I know I'm bigger on Mark McKenzie than most people, but Anthony Robinson I think was obviously the clear choice for left back as well.
Yep.
Any problems with the midfield staying the same?
Nah, I like it. Just initial thought when the game started was, so we saw Weston play on the right side and Musa play on the left side, and it was different. It was flipped this game. McKennie started on the left. Musa started on the right.
Even we'll get into it, but even like in the second half, he was playing like as a left midfielder pretty much. They were so wide. But yeah, Canada without Alphonso Davies, but they still have a strong squad. We don't have to go through it at all, but so any other thoughts on the lineup? I mean,
well, yeah, Zardes, like both of us weren't expecting Zardes. You thought that they were resting Pepe's legs.
Yeah, it made sense. I mean, maybe they're resting
Pepe's legs for the last 20 minutes of the game, I guess.
They look good. So if we just kind of you want to walk through it chronologically, and then we'll kind of give our thoughts on the players. So like to start the game, in my purple notebook here, I thought we pressed well. We were aggressive early. And it honestly kind of looked like we were going to match up with Canada man for man, like 3-4-3. Tyler Adams drops in and build up, and Anthony Robinson goes high. Sergino Dest goes high, and we do it from there. And like it was a little bit like that. I think we were very narrow. Like Pulisic was narrow. When the ball was on the right, Pulisic became narrow. So
I thought the starting positions of those wingers were too narrow, and I think it hurt us when we wanted to build up. I mean, you could see the field was pretty small.
Yeah.
And going to the field real quick, I think it didn't help the US because turf was a little bit slower than like a normal watered grass field.
Yeah. But Berhalter, did you listen to Berhalter's post-game press conference?
Yeah.
No wide progressions in that one. He did talk about, he thought, someone asked him about Zardes, and he said he thought Zardes, he's more physical on a narrow field, experience. Now, I kind of want to save my broader thoughts for the end, but like, I think he does too much of that kind of thinking. Like, okay, it's a more Berhalter, like, because it's a more narrow field, you got to be more physical. Therefore, you play Zardes instead of like the other four. Like, that's stupid thinking to me.
That's the tactical adjustment he makes. If you know you're playing Canada and they're a physical team, and you want to bring Zardes in because he's physical, yeah, Daryl DK sitting at home right now.
Yeah. Yeah. But
what did Zardes didn't offer anything the whole game?
Yeah, I thought
I would have rather seen Jesus Ferreira. At least he's getting on the ball a little bit more. At least he's doing more.
Yeah, I actually thought that as well, because as the game went on, I was like, oh, maybe we could find Zardes like running the channels. It happened like once. I think Aronson cut inside and found him. But Zardes wasn't making those runs. If we started Ferreira, he could have drawn out one of their center backs. And then because like Canada was so compact in front of their own box.
Yeah.
They had basically like 5 in the back, sometimes 6, sometimes. And if like Ferreira starts high and like drops in, maybe we draw out Vittoria. And like against a team that has like these big lumbering center backs like Vittoria and Miller, that we could have drawn them out and found some space in behind.
Not just that, like the striker checking in, someone running behind, but the one time since the winger starting position was so narrow, Miller followed Aronson when he checked, and I don't know why Zardes just literally just stood there. It was like he would have gotten the ball and been able to turn and cross it.
Yeah,
but I mean, the front three were just not making runs off the ball.
Yeah. They honestly, like, Pulisic looks like a guy who's tired. Like, he doesn't look mobile. Like we talked about it last episode. He doesn't look to like stretch the back line or like stretch and then check back. He's just kind of there.
Yeah, I guess when he's at Chelsea, he's looking like maybe make a little slip run through.
Yeah.
But with the US, he's always looking for a defeat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked about it last
like you're Pulisic, like you're like the main guy that Canada's probably worried about in attack. If you make like a 10, 15-yard run, like the Canada defenders are gonna try and pick you up. That opens space up for someone else.
And like at least like if he pulls wide, then that Johnston, the right center back, has to make a decision. Do I follow Pulisic or do I pass him off to Buchanan? Was on the right for a while, right?
They flipped.
Yeah. So like especially Buchanan, like you're gonna make him defend. You know, that's a win for the US. And like I don't know. I just think there's questions. But let's keep getting into the game. I thought like first goal kick for Canada, we had Pulisic and Aronson like pretty much on the 18. And then we had Zardes like dropped off a little bit. Like we were going to press and we were going to force it wide and we were going to go after him. And I thought we pressed well. But like,
which is kind of making me think like in past windows, the US haven't pressed like this. I feel like they've pressed with a striker and like a number 10, like maybe that was Weston or someone would be the front two to press like the center back.
They do that in their own half. That's when they're in a low block.
Okay.
Almost 100% of the time, it's like a number 9 and then the two wingers like right underneath. So it's almost like a 4-3-2-1.
So this press isn't new. New thing?
No. At least not that unless you can pull up clips, but like look at the difference between pressing high and like in their own half. I've heard Berhalter in interviews talk about how he likes to press in a 4-4-2 or defend in a 4-4-2 in like a low block when he's in a low block.
Gotcha.
What else was I going to say? So if we're talking about like in chronological order, they score the goal in like the 7th minute, but like a couple minutes before, Matt Turner takes a goal kick from the center because Canada is also pressing kind of high. He hits one up to Zardes. I don't know if he brings it down or flicks it on. He hits it, just past midfield, I think. Then the goal comes. We have a goal kick. He does the same thing, but drops it 10 yards short. So Zardes is slow to react. Canada steps up and wins it. And then it's just like a little 1-2, around our defense. It's hard for me to blame the Richards or Robinson for that. Like Robinson slips. So like it's hard for me to blame. For me, it's Turner hitting that ball straight to the middle to Zardes, who's not anticipating that it's going to drop short. Like we got to have numbers there, even if it's just Zardes. Like we got to have McKinney or Musa there to win that second ball as well.
Well, the biggest problem with that is that we were so expansive, as if we were going to play short. Literally, both center backs were on our corners of the 18.
Good vocabulary, bro. Expansive. Yeah, that's like wide progression material. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, he just kicks up the field, 10 yards short, nobody in the middle. If you're going to kick it down the field, you got to tell everyone do the whole like goalie push the hands up thing. Because like, even if you do take it quick, your center backs are out of position, then they got to sprint up the field and then they're not set. And then the ball's coming the other way.
Yeah. And you see like Guardiola does it with Man City. These are the little things why I love Guardiola's Man City. Like Ederson will play a long ball straight every once in a while if he knows he can get over the back line. But if they're spread out and he wants to play a long ball, it's going to a winger so he could flick it on. He's never going up the middle on a long ball unless they're like super compact,
Right. Yeah.
right? Like they're either spread out for a long ball so they could flick on and exploit space behind. This, like, you weren't going to – Pulisic and Aronson weren't anywhere near each other to be able to run in behind off of Zardes. So it was like going to be like, hey, Zardes, go win this ball against like a big center back, and like nobody's there to help.
Mm-hmm.
So it was stupid from the start, which it's got to come from Berhalter, because I can't see Turner thinking like, let me just play this ball after they did it twice. They did it before, and this was the second time. I think
Everything was wrong with that goal kick. It was
Yeah.
like the worst goal kick ever.
Yeah. I also said Zardes needed to contest. Bad step by the back line. I also wrote Zimmerman. This was before I knew he was injured. I just like Zimmerman. Like we talked about last episode, Zimmerman's always pointing and telling people what to do. I really like that from him. So we missed that. Then I said both teams press high on goal kicks, which is true as well. Anything else of note in the first half? I have a couple more things in the first half.
A few times we got some crosses in. The one time Zardes was going like 50 pace to the front post, and any striker, anyone else in the field, I would take to make that front post run, and he just wasn't there. It's like, you're the striker, you got to get in the box.
Yeah, we see it as a trend in all of these teams. Like the front post run takes guys with them, and like you get in front of these guys to score. And like if Zardes not booking it to the front post, like what?
And I guess they weren't really giving us a whole lot of space, like to get crosses off.
Yeah,
we really didn't get that many crosses off. So like Zardes needs to be in the box. And one time it was clear that the ball was going front post, and all he had to do was beat his man, and he was just slow to get there.
So one of the things Berhalter actually talks about is in his press conference. He said it. He was like, he talks about our game model gets forwards. You know, I think we score enough goals with our forwards. We get our forwards chances. Like, I don't think Zardes is dangerous enough to get his own chances, and he didn't get any of his own anyway. Whether he didn't do the work to get there or, but yeah, he's got to get front post on those. I couple things I thought were like Zardes technically bad, like a couple bad first touches. I think he dribbled out of bounds once.
Zardes.
I haven't been like a Zardes hater either, but I think he's taken a few steps down.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you.
Maybe it's the MLS thing. I don't know. Couple times I thought Canada were dirty this game. Like kicking people. They kicked Pulisic in like the first minute.
Vittoria should have been sent off.
Yeah, he early in the second half, he clobbered a guy.
Yeah.
And he didn't get a second yellow. He got his first yellow for stopping a counter. There was one play where Musa and Larea get into it.
I guess.
Did you see the one play? Musa's down and Larea's like kind of kicks him on his way up. I think it could have been a straight red to me. I don't know.
Dude, you know how they play up in Canada.
Yeah, there's tough, hard nose up in Canada in the cold. I
grew up playing hockey, so I mean, they kind of carry that into their soccer play.
We should just send people to the penalty box.
This isn't MASL, bro.
Big MASL guy. MASL, bro. I thought Pulisic played better. I don't have any like specific instances. I just wrote that down. So I'm not done completely rewatching it yet. I thought Dest was just in general. I thought he was great. Some people were like, "Oh, he needs to do more offensively." He kind of got shut down in his 1v1 like battles with like Buchanan and Miller. But like he was intercepting everything. He was great defensively. If we get that kind of performance from Dest, like he's a world-class left back almost.
Right back.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I'm
thinking
2 steps ahead. Because you know the attacking is going to have to come. At some point, it's going to come. I'm like, yeah, it didn't work out with the 1v1 battles, but I thought he was really good. And he was good in possession, too. He just didn't, like, get any dangerous service into the box. So that's what I have for the first half.
Yeah. Going into halftime, I don't know if you would have made any adjustments, but I think looking back on it, I think I would have moved Aronson to the middle.
I was in favor of that
because,
as well.
like, if you're able to I don't know how to explain this.
Well, first of all, notice who we didn't really mention much at all.
Musa,
McKinney, Adams.
Right.
I thought in the first half they were fairly.
Adams was looking very Jackson Ewell, Will Trapp like.
Dude, like, and look, I'm all for like playing simple, play within yourself, like, but like especially from that position. But dude, you're Tyler Adams, man. You gotta like make some passes. Like if he didn't play for Leipzig, like what are we talking about here? Like we're criticizing Jackson Ewell, and you know Jackson Ewell could have done that job there. Like,
all right, yeah.
Remind me of that later in the podcast because I have a couple like hotter takes looking ahead to the next game.
But my tactical adjustment would be move Aronson to the middle. So if we're able to counter on them, like you have Aronson in the middle who's looking to go forward. You know what I mean?
He did that a couple times.
Like the other three midfielders aren't looking to like instantly go forward. Like a few times when in the first half he did it maybe a few times, but the second half Aronson picked up the ball in the middle and dribbled straight into the box.
Yeah. I think he got to get a shot off and got blocked.
Yeah. I would have moved him in the middle and then bring on a winger.
Yeah. Dude, like
take off or just move Moose out wide. Maybe Moose is better for the US out wide. I
would like to see him get some run out wide, Musa. My halftime adjustment would have been like maybe pull the Aronson card later. Pepe for Zardes. Like I was just totally out on Zardes. I was like, this isn't working. Like at least lump some balls up to Pepe's head or something. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted anything. I thought as the second half went on, like Richards was playing better. He had a couple nice clearances. He started to like split some lines, which like they look great. But if you're not doing it consistently or you're not looking to go forward after you split those lines, it doesn't really do anything for you. But yeah, I thought we were knocking the ball pretty well in the second half. And like we were still the better team like most of the game. I don't think Canada ever like looked like they were like the better team. Weston, I thought was like basically playing left mid. He was like all the way.
I was getting to him. Nah, man. I mean, I was just saying it during the game that he's just chilling on. If he's not on one touch line, he's on the other side of the field on another touch line, taking 4 or 5 touches on the ball. Just keep it moving. I think like if the ball goes in, you're center mid. Like if the ball goes into you, you got nothing. You turn your head, play it right back to the center back, or play it, make a forward pass. You're not trying to do a soul roll and then dribble down the sideline.
Yeah,
like what? I don't know what he's doing. We don't need. We got Pulisic and we got Anthony Robinson on the left side. We don't need Weston McKennie there too.
Oh, well, he was obviously told to go there, but he must have went to Juve.
Does he just want to try too much?
He must be playing some like futsal on the streets of Turin or something. Cause like he's getting the ball at the bottom of his right foot and just like soul rolling it, shielding people. Like
I think it's all the pickup he does in LA.
Yeah, the Venice Beach FC.
Yeah.
If you want to just keep letting players, just keep preaching futsal, you're just gonna get a bunch of soul rolling, shielding off guys, and
that didn't help us, did it?
That's half of youth clubs in America are soul rolling futsal, but that's my anti-futsal rant for the day. But he was still good. Like our best chance was him on a set piece. He was dangerous.
Or the areola bike.
Yeah, we'll get the areola. What else did I put? The Turner double save. I put here. I wish Aronson went to center mid. I would have taken Musa off, put Aronson at center mid because Aronson's got the legs, man. He didn't play much against El Salvador, and like he runs, he's like top 1% in the world in terms of like distance covered.
And he hasn't played a whole much, so it's not like. I mean, his fitness is still probably really high.
Yeah.
So he hasn't played a whole bunch, so it's not really like a lot on him right now.
I would have moved him to center mid, and I would have brought on Areola earlier. Like I'm not just saying that because he did all right. Like who else were we gonna?
I'm not laughing at you. I just think it's funny.
Areola, he's a friend of the podcast. I would say. Dude, he came on and looked kind of dangerous. Obviously, he had the bike, but like we needed. Look, dude, I think there's just people who just kind of know how to play and they're not flashy. And like if his name wasn't Paul Areola and he didn't play in MLS, like U.S. fans would be like if that was Tyler Boyd, right? Weird guy, kind of plays in Europe. People would be like, oh, that's intriguing. But no, he's Paul Areola, and like people just hate him. Same thing with Morris. Jordan Morris came on, I thought looked great. Like I was reading some of the reviews, and they're like, yeah, Morris looked okay, not sharp enough back from his ACL injury. I was like, what game are you watching? He was in on every ball. He was first every ball. He almost had a nice dribble down the left, and it barely went out of bounds. I would start Jordan Morris just on that performance yesterday. He had the most life out of anybody. I'm telling you, man, go back and watch when Jordan Morris came on.
He's also fresh, and the other teams.
We had other fresh guys. They had other fresh guys, and Jordan Morris was the best one of them.
No disagree. I like Jordan Morris.
To me, it seems like this camp has been really focused on like positional like tactics. And like if Areola is the guy that knows the positional game well, he knows Berhalter's game model, like just play him at that point. If it's not going to work out for these other guys, like I don't care if we put a less talented player on the field if he's going to play better than somebody else. And like I thought he was clear that Areola knew what he was doing. Same with Jordan Morris. I thought he was good. So subs did all right, I think. They changed the game because I thought we were the better team, but we weren't that dangerous, so could only go up, you know.
Yeah.
Especially Pepe. Pepe came in for Zardes, and like we at least started linking up a little bit. He won a couple balls. He linked up with Pulisic once or twice. I think Pulisic needs a guy to link up with in the middle.
You want Pulisic to link up in the middle?
Like if he's driving inside, picking up second balls. Honestly, I know I'm kind of going all over the place here. I'm just going. Why not play Pulisic as a 10 next game? Pulisic was best in World Cup qualifying in 2017, playing underneath Josie. And Bruce Arena was just like, yeah, you have the freedom to go kind of do that.
Well, yeah, I guess what they did when we were already down 1-0, that's when they had Pepe, Ariel, Morrison, and then Pulisic was in too, right? Yeah. And Pulisic was probably just told free roam, like go wherever the heck you want.
Basically, as a center midfielder, and like we should do that next game.
I don't agree.
What do you mean you don't agree?
Well, I just went bold last podcast and said I don't want Pulisic on a free roam. Like they just have a dude who's on free roam who gets the ball and does nothing with it.
There's a difference between free roam as a left wing and letting him be a creative midfielder. And he's proven he could be a good creative midfielder before. I'm telling you, go back and watch like 2017 World Cup qualifying when Pulisic was like,
dude, that's 5 years ago.
Okay, but he was still good then.
That was 5 years ago.
Yeah, but like that, he found some more success as the game went on in that kind of role. And he, for Chelsea, for the US, he's always better
was
when
even
he's
the coach.
With somebody. I don't care. It's not,
dude. It's completely different team. No, completely different Pulisic.
No, it's the same.
He has a tattoo sleeve now.
I'm sorry. I retract my statement. Good call. He's got drip. Dude, I just think that's going to be how you unlock him, because I saw flashes when he was linking up with Pepe. He came inside, he took the ball, and he plays like a 1-2 with Pepe. And then you get Pulisic running with speed at the back line. As a left winger, he's not going to receive a ball and go dribble at someone. It's almost like he needs to like get the ball on like a swooping turn or like on like a 1-2. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
I could draw it out if I needed to, but
like that's exactly what I'm saying. Like we don't need Pulisic to be like always getting the ball. Like what I said, like always be making runs though, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe he makes a run, doesn't get the first ball, but it goes wide, and then he gets the back post goal or something like that.
Yeah, I think like
he doesn't need to be told go wherever you want, because you know we've seen it before. He's going to go all the way, get the ball off the center backs or something. Like that doesn't do us anything. Right. We could have Weston McKennie go get the ball and he does 4 soul rolls.
Well, I thought our center backs did that way too much. I thought Musa was too deep. McKinney was too deep, like we talked about last week or last podcast.
But is it
Adams?
But sometimes like you gotta think like, are these players like not playing to like what we think they can play to, or is it the coach? Like, is Berhalter putting too much tactics on these guys? Because these players play for some of the best managers in the world.
It was a bit too cool, I guess.
Like sometimes maybe just let them try and figure it out themselves. I guess.
I wrote that down here.
Thought.
I think I wrote Greg versus game model versus players. So in the post-game press conference, when I was talking about Zardes, Berhalter talks about, he was like, I think our game model, it creates enough chances for our forwards. And he brought up game model again. And he talked in the behind the crest videos from December or January, there was an assistant coach that left and they brought in the new one. You remember that?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we got to get him up to speed, like game model. It's like, I get it that like they create these like perfect, like principle based, like game models, how they want the team to play, but it can't just be game model. And I think like that too, but like, you got to look at like how you want to adjust the team versus your game model versus players. Because I think sometimes like how a player feels is more important than.
It's so psychological for a national team manager because you have so much time to think about things.
Yeah. And I think like the Zardes thing, it's a shorter field, so we need his physicality. Hey, no, you don't. Like that's not really how it works. Like, yeah, if you're playing like college soccer and everything's a set piece, like I get that. But like in this game, whether Zardes was like 5'5" or 6'1", I don't think either of those make a difference. So I think Greg kind of gets in his own way, overthinks it. Like same thing with the player rotation. Like I like the fact that we kind of sub in waves and like he's thinking ahead and managing minutes. Like I get that. And he probably goes by data, but there's a time where you got to be like, look, this is a big game, it's a must-win game. I'm putting my best guys out there and we're going to like figure out something that works. Because I think he's taken a long time to get to his best 11 or best 15, which is okay. But like there's a time where you got to like really narrow it down and be like, these are the guys who count and everybody else is there to do a job.
Well, yeah, he's doing that in some parts of the field, like the midfield, the outside backs.
Have we seen enough from the midfield though? Like
maybe not the past 2
El
games.
Salvador, Canada. That's our starting midfield, right? Those 3 midfielders in.
We have seen from Weston. Yeah, Weston's been really good. Like past.
Are they creating enough though?
Oh no, not the past 2 games.
I don't like if that's the strength of your team and you're sticking with these 3 midfielders, then they got to create something. So I think we've moved on from the game in general, right? Anything else from the game, or do you want to kind of talk about like bigger picture?
I do like Weston's long throws.
Oh, that's a good point. I thought on set pieces, well, yeah, long throws are OP. Like they're like a superpower in soccer. But if you're going to do that, we got to have some kind of shape at the top of the box, like either win second balls or defend counterattacks.
Yeah, I was watching some Brentford highlights today, actually, and they always have like 3 dudes right at the top of the box.
Yeah, and we didn't, dude. Let's say Weston would throw it from the right side. Okay, happened in the first half once. We had Dest and somebody else on like close to the edge of the box on the right side. He's throwing it past those guys, and it's going to get headed back somewhere towards the middle. Why do we have 2 guys there? We need 2 or 3 guys like forming a wall at the top of the box to put that thing back in. So to me, set pieces are kind of just a good chance to set up a good second ball. Like don't even win the first one, go in the second ball. And we didn't. So like if that's going to be your weapon, like you got to do better setting that up. Yeah. I don't know if that was just a miscue.
No, I got you.
I don't know anything else.
I don't really have much thoughts on the game.
What else were we talking about? I was talking about something before you talked about Weston's long throw.
Overcoaching, Berhalter overthinking,
overthink. Ah, man.
Game models.
Yeah, I talked about game models. I talked about overcoaching. I was on a run too. See, that's like Berhalter. He probably has something in his mind, but he's like, "Oh, I got to go back to our game model first."
He probably forgets that he put like toast in the toaster.
He just has these really burnt toast.
and then he goes back to his game model.
He's like,
oh, snap, game model, and then forgets that he put something in the toaster.
Yeah, but if his game model says to take toast out of toaster to butter it, like he's gonna.
Yeah. He has to set little reminders.
He has a game model every day. He just checks it off. We should set like a podcast schedule and call it our game model. I think I know what I was going to talk about now. It was about we're talking about the midfield and talking about like how they haven't created anything. I'm at the point now where like it's not all like lost. Like I still think we're going to qualify for the World Cup, but these are your big players, right? Your Juve, your Valencia, your Leipzig, your whatever, your Chelsea. Like give some of these guys a chance to
your FC
perform.
Dallas.
Yeah, your FC Dallas. Your Arsenal. I think it's time to see like a shake up in the midfield. Whether it's Pulisic playing center mid, I'm okay with that. Whether it's Luca Della Torre in there, Adams goes out with a hamstring strain. I'm okay seeing Tyler Adams or what's his face, Kellen Acosta in that role. Something a little bit different, right? I think that's the only like for like we have as in terms of defensive midfielders. But like I've seen enough of Adams, Musa, and McKinney like for this window.
Adams isn't going to start because he's hurt. Acosta definitely will start. I think.
You think it's Musa and McKinney?
No.
Well,
I think Della Torre.
Dude, fingers crossed, bro.
Fingers crossed. I think it goes Della Torre, McKinney. Acosta, Delatorre, McKennie. And then I think Turner will start in goal.
Mm-hmm.
Cannon right back. I don't know what Zimmerman's deal is, but
I think he's back.
All right, so it'll probably be Zimmerman and Robinson.
Anthony Robinson?
Miles. And then Anthony.
Oh, okay. I can see Des starting on the left. Okay.
Maybe use Dest off the bench.
As a left back?
Yeah.
All right.
I already said my midfield. And then the front three. You think he starts Pulisic? Because I think he starts Pepe.
Mm-hmm.
And
he starts Way again.
Yeah, Way. And Aronson, maybe?
Yeah.
Or probably will just start Pulisic.
Areola.
I don't know.
I just think there's going to be some kind of changes. Like, one, because it's the third game. And two, because, like, I don't think – and injuries. And I don't think, like, we're getting the desired results. Like, I will agree. We were the better team. And, like, these Canadian players coming out, like, talking about how we're scared and whatever. Like, we were the better team. Canada sat behind the ball. We had 65% possession, whatever.
Well, I got the stats right here.
Ooh.
If
Big stat nerd, huh?
Yeah.
Read them real quick.
Possession, 63% US, 37 Canada. Shots, 13 US, 8 Canada. Shots on goal, 3 US, 4 Canada. Passes completed, we had 436. Canada had 210.
Wow.
And then our expected goals were 0.94. And Canada's was 1.19.
And they had 2 goals, and that's their expected goals. That's, it's not too bad.
And they probably should have had that other one. Remember Laren?
Yeah, Turner had the double save, but that was a stupid play to begin with. That was again from a goal kick, right? So I had some middle of second half. Turner had a double save. Play it short, goes out to Dest, who's immediately under pressure because we aren't set. Dest has to take a touch inside, tries to kick it up the field with his left foot, gets blocked and falls right in the middle. And we put ourselves in those situations. So I don't really know what we were doing there.
So we have Panama.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, huge game. I didn't realize.
Next window in Orlando, right?
Who we played?
Honduras.
Oh, we play Honduras. Never mind.
Home against Honduras.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I think next window we play. Is it home Panama and then at Azteca? Just 2?
I don't know.
Wow. Well, that's going to be a huge window. See if you can find the schedule.
I got it.
But yeah, at this point, I think it'd be cool to see a Luca Delatorre in the midfield, or even like Pulisic as a midfielder.
It's 3 games in next window in March.
It was gotta wait till March, bro.
It's away at Mexico, home against Panama, away at Costa Rica.
Dude, that is death, bro.
All right, it's not death, but it's tough.
2 of the hardest games. And
away at Canada is harder than away at Costa Rica.
Now it is, yeah. But away at Azteca and then home against Panama. Dude, what if we just tank the away at Azteca just to prepare for home Panama?
That's stupid. We're better than Mexico, dude. Mexico's not that good.
Yeah, they really boring 0-0
You can actually beat Mexico in Mexico.
Yeah, I think Mexico's kind of trash. One of the things I did notice from the Canada game was you defend that deep, right? And they kind of play with 5 in the back, 3 center backs and wing backs. We attack with 5 most of the time, right? It's a forward, 2 inside wingers tucked in, 2 outside backs going forward, or an outside back and a center mid pushing up the field, whatever. It's 5v5. I think this game model is designed to be to create a 5v4, whether it's a ball over top, a diagonal, a through ball, creating a 2v1 on the wing. So when Canada can match up in a 5v5, and then sit other guys in front of that, I think it makes it hard for this game model. And I think it's proven before when we can't score. And I think that's why this game model, I keep saying game model.
Yeah.
This game model doesn't create a ton of attacking, free flowing soccer. And there were times where we would set up our attacking structure rather than try to transition. And I do think when teams can transition, it's almost should be good at transition first before you start to possess. because that's how you like kind of scare teams. And if we were better at that, I think Adams plays a few better passes. You like unleash Aronson. Dude, Morris running in transition is still dangerous. I'm telling you, I'm all the way on the Jordan Morris bandwagon.
I know you like mean that, but like, why did you say it like as if you were being sarcastic?
What did I say? Meaning, what did I say where I thought I was sarcastic?
You're like, dude, but Morris running in.
I'm not being sarcastic.
It sounded like you were, but I know you're being serious.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like I have notes thinking this is going to be structured, and really I was just kind of all over the place. So anything else like we need to talk about? Like here's another thing. Sorry, can I just say one more thing?
Yeah.
So I'm on Twitter a lot, like after these games, because I like to read opinions. I like to read like, I don't know, like MLSsoccer.com and different like soccer like blog things and podcasts. And like one of the themes that I see that I don't think people get right is like, okay, if you look at just this group of players and whatever, they're talented, like Pulisic's great. It's great to have them. Great to have Aronson or Weston or whatever. But in general, from the youngest ages up, if we put a priority on developing creative attacking players, whether they end up being a defender later, but they still have that kind of like flair or something, these problems will solve themselves. But if we just worry at all times about creating better soccer players, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to progress as a national team. Because if, who's like a mid-level like player on this national team? Sebastian Lletget. Is Sebastian Lletget better than, Ricardo Clark back in the day? Probably, right? The quality of soccer has gotten better. But is Sebastian Lletget like creative enough to unlock a game? No. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
The quality of player has gotten better, but the quality of like difference-making quality hasn't. So if that makes sense, great. If not, I was just looking at a moron. But
no, I got you. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Somebody tweeted. There's very few people that would find this as funny as I did. The U.S. is one more MLS Next ECNL league away from being a top country in the world.
Yeah, that's funny.
So what else? How's the table looking?
Yeah, I've been looking at this table the whole time you were talking. Canada,
know by
all teams are on 10 matches played. Canada 20. This is all points. Canada 22, USA 18, Mexico 18, Panama 17, Costa Rica 13, El Salvador 9, Jamaica 7, and Honduras 3.
Oh, so we're playing the bot. There's a lot of pressure on this game. Like this is a tricky, hard game.
Was this the game where we played away and they were beating us at halftime?
Yes.
Honduras? Yeah.
Yes. Because the first game of World Cup qualifying, I think we tied El Salvador, right? At El Salvador. And then we went home to Canada, or home against Canada, and then away to Honduras. We were down 1-0 and then ended up winning 4-1. But like, okay, it's one thing to go play like a tough team, whether home or away. But then you have to play at home in freezing conditions against like the worst team in the group, but like all of this pressure on you after a loss. It's a big deal.
Should handle them though, dude.
Yeah, we should. I'm not scared or anything, but I kind of like the chaos of like a USMNT loss and everyone's just like heads on
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
I think the USA win 3-0.
The US of A.
I think Taylor Torres. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
We got to get some set piece magic in there too. Like I'm thinking like a Walker Zimmerman goal, a Miles Robinson goal, and like
Miles Robinson's our second leading goal scorer.
Is he really?
I think Pepe has 3, and then Aronson and Miles Robinson have 2.
Weston doesn't have 2.
Oh, maybe Weston.
Guest has 2.
I forget.
You're talking about Anthony Robinson has 2.
Nah, Miles does.
No, Anthony Robinson's the left back. He has 2.
I know which one's the left back, which one's the center back.
He has 2 goals. But that's all I had for this game and for my like unstructured rant.
Me too. Touche.
So is there anything else? We play Wednesday at 7:30. I kind of like the rhythm of these podcasts.
Yeah.
Berhalter talked about like replicating the cadence of 3-game window. I think this is good practice for us to replicate the cadence of.
They might call us in because we've been working on our 3-game windows.
Yeah, 3-game window. I mean, we'll be ready for Qatar, in November. We're working on our 3-game windows today. All right, is that it? It stinks because we're gonna think of other stuff to say to each other after this podcast ends that I wish I could put on the podcast.
It's all right. We give our listeners some knowledge.
Mm-hmm. All right. So is that it? We're ready to wrap it up?
Yep.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
That's it.